All right, dude, Bitcoin is just going crazy. It's hitting levels that we've been talking about for quite a while, actually, on the way up. Okay, so we are now breaking market structure to the upside. It is confirmed. We are going to be going up. Okay, there will likely be entry opportunities if you did not get in at $74,000, $84,000, whatever it is, right? A lot of people actually didn't want to get in at those levels, myself included, because I'm like, okay, I want to see confirmations. I want to see confirmations that we're moving up and that this isn't just some false move, right? So is this a short squeeze? Absolutely, 100% it's a short squeeze. Is this because Trump is literally saying, hey, I'm no longer going after Powell, and then the S&P absolutely gapped up and just killed it and the gold market's tanked? And guess what happens whenever money leaves a market? Whenever a market tanks, what do you think happens? Another market goes up, or other markets go up, okay? Money doesn't just leave and disappear and, go out of thin air. They put it places, okay? Nobody that's a large institutional investor that really knows what the hell is going on in the world, they don't just sit here and say, oh, well, I'm just going to hold my money in cash, right? No. In times of speculation, they're going to say, hey, S&P, crypto, things of that sort, boom, right? In times of non-speculation, risk off times, they're going to say, okay, no more S&P, no more crypto, boom, straight into gold, silver, hedging, right? U.S. treasuries, things of that sort, right? I wouldn't recommend getting into U.S. treasuries, by the way, right? We did call the top on gold 2 days ago inside of the VIP community, and I called it inside of verified investing, okay? We made a massive gain on this already, 5.5%. Our price targets are way more than that at this point, and we're killing it on that. We also called the bottom of the S&P and caught that long before it gapped up today, right? So we also called the bottom of the S&P. We called the top of gold, profited from both of them inside of the VIP trading room in the Nordic Alpha community. That's the only place you would have seen this. I promise you, it's the only place you would have seen it. It's the only place you would have had the exact trade, the exact entries, stop losses, exit strategy, everything, right? And if you want to know where Bitcoin is going, the good news, my friends, whether you're here from Twitter or whether you're here on YouTube, the good news is that I know that we now have enough data for me to tell you, just like I told people on gold where the top was going to be, where the potential top on Bitcoin is going to be, okay? And I promise you, I just dropped a video. If you don't believe me, seriously, don't believe me. I don't want you to believe me. I want you to go and find this, okay? I just dropped a video on my channel. Just go to my channel. You'll see it. It literally says gold top confirmed, okay? And go and watch that video. And if you don't believe that I called the top on gold, I literally showed everybody the posts of me on video, on camera, calling the top of gold at $3,500. Very few people can do this because very few people even understand what I used to get to that level, right? And I just explained it on the previous stream, the stream right before this, where I talk about I sold all of my gold. Yeah, I did it there too, right? I broke down everything, the whole strategy, right? After the fact. So if you want to know these things beforehand, click the first link in the description. Click the link that is in the comment on the Twitter post. And I swear you can get in here, no problem, into this community. Bang, bang, boom. It is in there. And it's going to cost you less than $1 a day to know this type of stuff. I promise you. You can get 5% off if you subscribe for 3 months. You can get 10% off at 6 months. You can get 20% off if you subscribe for an entire year. Do whatever you want to do. This is the literal least expensive it will ever be. I can promise you that, right? So now that I have the data to understand where Bitcoin is likely to top out, I will be dropping it in that private community. I will not put it on YouTube. I will not put it on YouTube. It is far too valuable to be giving out that information for free to people. So I will give it to the people that support me. I will give it to the people inside of that community that deserve to have that information. I will still do a lot of TA and a lot of things here, but I'm not going to give you that exact target, just like I gave those people that same target on gold that hit within 8 cents of the top that I called. I gave that inside of private communities, not on YouTube. And anybody that thinks that I should be giving it for free on YouTube, that's crazy that you would even think that, okay? So with that being said, this is stuff that you learn over 10, 12 years of market experience. It's not something you learn in a day. It's not something you're going to find on a YouTube video or in some forum somewhere or some free ebook that some douchebag that does ICT strategies is pushing to you, right? This is stuff you're only going to learn if you are, or if you learn from a verified pro trader. Okay. Somebody like this, right? Verified pro trader. I'm in there for a reason. I am the gold guy. I called the top on gold. I'm in there with Soloway. Soloway is, legendary. Everybody knows him. VerifiedInvesting.com. If you happen to give an F, go check it out. With that being said, we called out all of this in the group. Okay. As you can see, gold short is absolutely printing. We hit our first take profit level. Bing, bang, boom. We won't get any further into it than that. If you want these levels, go ahead, get in the community. Bam. S&P long continues to print. Scalp long and short opportunities are also in this video. The levels, right? Gave out the S&P long yesterday. That was Monday. Boom. It was already printing. Then we gapped up today. It printed even more, right? Go down here. Actually, right here. This is all my key levels on Bitcoin, right? You got to watch the video to get it, right? You can try and read this and decipher what's going on, but that's high level TA right there. And then if you go in, I've got a secondary TA guy, and his name is the boss. And he literally gave out 2 trades today, a long and a short, and both of them hit exactly as he set them up. Literally, you are making money if you are in this community. Even if you take a couple of losses, I have an 82% win rate. What does that mean? That means out of every 100 trades, I lose 18 of them. You're always going to lose on some trades. But the key is that if you have an 82% win rate, 80% win rate, 50% win rate, even 40% win rate, but you're getting 3x risk to rewards on your trades, you are winning. You are making money. Don't be afraid to take small losses. Make sure your risk management is proper. And if you want to learn proper risk management, go into my community. We'll teach it to you. No problem. That's literally all we do. So in any case, where could Bitcoin be going? Well, I'll tell you where it's going now, but if you want to know where it's really going, you got to get in that community. All right, 4-hour chart. Let's see what we got. So as we were talking about yesterday, we did, and if you got something for me, drop it in the comments section, whether it's on Twitter, scroll up and hit the follow button. If you're here on Twitter, make sure you hit subscribe, and then boom, baby, bang on that notification bell. Like the video if you're here on YouTube, comment something for me, drop something in the comments section, show up and participate, right? I know I'm going to sit here, I'm going to cook, I'm going to go and do all my TA and stuff like that, but I would like to understand what it is that you want me to do TA on. I'll be more than happy to do it, right? You just got to tell me, right? Whether you're commenting from Twitter or whether you're commenting from YouTube, tell me what altcoins you want me to look at. I'll look at them, no big deal, no problem. So in any case, what has happened now is we have been accepted into this previous value area, right? That is literally from when we went parabolic and broke that previous all-time high of $73,600. And I'm talking this all-time high, not this right here. I'm talking this way, way, way back here, right? 73.8 was the all-time high. And then we kind of faded, trended down, boom, bang, bang, upwards, right? We're still in an uptrend, okay? What do I mean by that? Well, let's zoom out on the weekly chart and I'll show you. Bang, uptrend, boom, support, 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 bang. Still in an uptrend, okay? So long as we stay above that line, we're still in an uptrend. That line, as it sits right now, is at $78,500. You stay above 78, you're still bullish. Honestly, you stay above $84,500, you are ultra bullish here. Okay, so let's get into the 4-hour chart. I'll show you what I'm talking about, right? So this is the value area, which is called an FRVP, fixed range volume profile, okay? This is the value area low. This is the point of control. This is the value area high. Whenever you get accepted back into this range, it's very powerful. It sucks you back up to the point of control. If you get a rejection at the point of control, you're probably coming back down to the low of this value area, which is around $84,500, right? Now, if you get above this, guess where you're going? 103, baby, 103. Now, here's the one thing that I want to note, and I gave this to people inside of the trading room, but I'm going to give it to you in any case. We have so far swing failure pattern this, okay? We swing failure patterned these highs. What do I mean by that? We were not able to take out this high right here. Bang. This high, as you can see, look over to the right by my head, and you can see we did not take out that high, and you have to take out that high with a candle closing above it, okay? Now, Are we just kind of like cooling off right here to do another leg up? It is potential, right? And are you going to get a, a rejection at the 96.5 range? Well, it's very possible that you get a rejection up there. You do have all of the moving average starting to curl into a bullish formation. Now, the one thing I do want to show you on the hourly chart, it is starting to kind of like curl a little bit, right? It is starting to curl a little bit, and so are the moving averages, right? Especially it starts with the 9, which is this yellow thing right here, right? The yellow line. The pink is obviously the 21. That is an absolute magnet. And then you've got your 50 moving average here, right? So are we going to curl down here, fulfill not only this fair value gap to about $92,000, right? If you want to know what a fair value gap is, it's just literally this candle's high to this candle's low and this big ass candle right here. If you want to know about fair value gaps, literally, I'm dead serious. Just get into the community. I'm not going to sit here and waste people's time. We have 30 minutes explaining all these concepts. I'm just going to give you the levels. And if you want to know things further, get into the community where you can have target analysis like that. Okay. And then you have a secondary fair value gap all the way down here at $89,283. Okay. So your first key level is going to be 91.8, right? Your second key level is going to be $89,000 almost exactly. Call it 89.5, right? Then where's your third key level? Well, it's going to be right here. It's going to be right here at about $86,700, $86,800. Call it 87K, right? Why? Because your 4-hour 200 moving average is right there. If you fall, this is where you want to bounce from. This is seriously where you want to bounce from. Now, can you wick down right here to the 84.5 range? Yes, but you only want to see a wick and then immediately regain this 200 moving average. Because if you get under the 200, it's a big, big problem, okay? You've now regained the 200 and the 100 moving average on the daily chart. You have to hold these. And again, where is that 200 moving average? 88.5, man. The 88.5 to 89.5 range is going to be like your literal critical point and line in the sand where it's like you do not want to break below this again. I promise you. You do not want to break below this again because that is going to probably take you down here to about $78,000 on Bitcoin, which I'm totally fine with because guess what? That is where you load up on all of your spot altcoin bags, okay? Now that we have these confirmations and we have broken market structure to the upside, what do I mean by break market structure to the upside? Here's your ultimate high. Here's the low, right? Here's a lower high. Here's a lower low. Here's a lower high. Here's a lower low. Here is a lower high. And then here is a lower low. And now you have taken out that lower high and set a higher high. So long as you set a higher low here, you are still bullish. Okay. You've still broken market structure and you are going to go up. That is the point. That in this range, okay, in this range right here, this is where you are buying big bags of altcoins, spot altcoins. I have a lot of money sitting on the sidelines waiting for this exact confirmation, right? Waiting for this exact confirmation and then the retrace of this, right? So where could you retrace to? Well, let's see. Here's your swing high, right? Your previous swing high to your swing low, okay? You have now done a full 1.0 retrace. At the very least, you could retrace right down here to about $87,330, right? That's not the one we want to think about, though. This is the one that we want to think about, all right? Bang. $82,500, call it 82.5. My bias is that you probably won't go below the 0.5 fib, 84.6. All of these are your levels to start buying, right? 89,000, or call it 90,000, right? 87,000, and then 84.5. Okay, that's where you can start DCAing into your altcoin bags at these levels right here. And I would start at 89, maybe 10, 15%, and then I would put, another 20% in at the 0.382. And then I would put another 20% in here, 25%, and then whatever the rest of your bag is, you spread it evenly down here just in case you do come down here and try to test this low, right? Okay. So that's the way I would be playing this. Actually, that's the exact way I'm going to play this. And, be that as it is, I don't know how many verified pro traders you know, but if I'm a person in the market that absolutely has no idea what's going on, I'm probably going to follow somebody that does, right? And I don't know if the other YouTubers that you watch or people like actually do this and they're actually verified with, like documented 82% win rates like I have in this community, literally documented. I have a spreadsheet that I can pull up every single one of my trades. Literally. It's no problem. Like I can show you. Bang. These are all my losses in the red, right? I've got 39 wins, 10 losses, 80% overall. That's on Bitcoin, silver, gold, all combined. And then on gold so far, I have a 82.35% win rate with a 65% profit and loss. That's how much money you would have made if you would have taken all my gold trades. That accounts for all the losses too. I mean, look at my losses, 0.3%, 0.5%. My wins are 3%, 2%, 1%, 1.5%, 9%. This one's probably going to be a massive. This one's already 5.5%. See what I'm saying? Like, look at the losses compared to the wins. So unless you have, and I don't know if you saw, but there's an entire column that will literally take you to the post where I talked about it. Like, this is legitimate documentation. So I don't know who you're paying attention to in this market, but, you know, we'll see. So with that being said, we'll see, you know, how this all kind of plays out. Now, R. Gilbert is suggesting there might be a inverse head and shoulders. R. Gilbert's in the chat, baby, on the 30-minute chart. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Check it out, man. Check it out. Now, if anybody knows anything about what an inverted head and shoulders is, that is a bullish charting pattern, okay? That is a bullish charting pattern, meaning that we are looking for upside on this, okay? So, we're reaching here, our Gilbert. We are reaching because this is slanting down. Okay, so this is a very valuable lesson, okay? That I'm going to give it to you guys for free, even though I think you should get into my community and understand this. There are ways, there are rules, okay, to all of these patterns. There are rules to the candlesticks, which is why I was like, hey, if you want to know this shit, get into the community, which is the private VIP trading room inside of Nordic Alpha. Get in there because I teach all of this stuff, right? You will have it at your fingertips, okay? But there are rules to all of these candlesticks, all of these charting patterns, and I'm going to give you just a spoiler alert on this. This is not an inverted head and shoulders that I would trade. You can trade it. I will not trade this. Why? Well, first and foremost, because this thing is slanting downwards, okay? What you want to see on an inverted head and shoulders, this is actually a break of structure, okay? This is actually about to head downwards, okay? And this is where a lot of people get confused, and this is why I teach the things that I teach, so that people don't, like, long it here and then get stopped out, right? So in any case, what's happening here, right? If we take a closer look, break down market structure, right? Let's take the head and shoulders off. We'll bring it back up here in a second. We had a high, we had a higher low than this low, right? Then we had a high, then we had a higher low, right? Then we had a higher high, bang, lower low, right? So that's your shoulder. This is your head, right? And then what you want to see on an inverted head and shoulders is your secondary shoulder starting to form at around the same high as what started the head, right? What ends the head should be around the same high, right? This fell short. So what are we seeing? A break of market structure. Lower low, lower high. If we come down here, we set a new lower low. See what I'm saying? That's why I don't like this head and shoulders pattern, okay? Because you are now breaking market structure to the downside. And that is why when you see a head and shoulders, it needs to look inverted head and shoulders. It needs to look like this. Right? See how that's just either just barely slanting upwards, or it needs to be pretty friggin' flat. When it's slanting downwards, that's not what you want. Now, for a regular head and shoulders, it would be fine to see it like this, right? Where it is slanting downwards. Why? Because you want this to be moving in the direction that you actually want to see Bitcoin going. And with this moving the neckline down, I don't like it, right? I don't like it because I'm looking for an upward move here in this charting pattern, and the charting pattern's telling me something inherently different. It's saying, hey, we're heading downward. Now, does that mean that this won't go up? No, it doesn't. But I just won't trade this because I trade based on rules, very specific rules and parameters. And those are the parameters that I can teach you inside of the community that my main man right here, R. Gilbert, is in. That dude, R. Gilbert's throwing money around. R. Gilbert's literally throwing money around. He bought the entire year's worth, and hopefully he doesn't get mad at me for airing him out. He bought the entire year's worth He got 20% off of his subscription. Dude's an absolute animal. He's a friggin' legend. He's been here supporting me for a long time, and I support him right back, right? Anytime he asks for TA, I give it to him. R. Gilbert's an absolute animal. I appreciate him. Now, this is my point. With the regular Head and Shoulders, it's signaling a downward momentum, right? So you've got what? You've got a low here. You've got a high, right? Then you have a equal or, lower high, lower low, right? You've got a higher high. That's breaking market structure, right? But what happens? You get either an equal or a lower low, and then you get a massively lower high. And then once you break the neckline, guess what you're doing? You're setting a lower low, which is telling you you've broken market structure to the downside. So that's exactly what you want to see on this inverted Head and Shoulders. You want to see your high right here. Then you want to see your low. Then you want to see an equal or higher high here. And then you want to see a higher low. And then this is your next higher high. That's your breakout point, and that's where you go. That's it. It's that simple on the Head and Shoulders. So good point out. And I appreciate you for bringing that up, man, because it gave me the opportunity to throw out some teaching there. That's the only teaching I'm going to give people, because I literally just spent like 5 minutes explaining that. If you want high level stuff, I cannot explain it to you on a 30-minute stream or even an hour stream. You have to get in the community, man. I will give you all of those analyses. I will give you all the rules inside of all my trainings. I've got it. It's called the Nordic Alpha Blueprint, literally Become a Pro Trader series. It is literally meant to turn you from nothing to a pro trader, okay? By using the systems that I've developed and all of my mentors have developed over 10 years of me on the charts and, dozens and dozens of years of them on the charts, and the things that I've learned from them too, I've incorporated into my own strategy. He said, I turn to Donna and I lose money. Oh, dude. Donna, where's she at? Where's my girl?
But I cannot see. I'm legally blind. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I'm innocent.
I'm innocent, man. I'm innocent, man. I didn't see that I didn't see that break of market structure, man. I swear that I didn't, man. But the good news is that R. Gilbert, if you were paying attention to John, who is day trading, this is the boss, right? He's inside of our community. He gave out 2 trades, a long and a short today, both of them printed, right? So I do a lot of scalping and swing trading, and I trade in a totally different manner than he does, even though I understand what he does and he understands what I do. We trade in 2 totally separate ways. So not only are you getting my analysis, but you're getting this guy's analysis, who's absolute animal. He's got his P&Ls in here too. He's got his P&Ls in here too. Do not twist the words, everybody. I promise you, this is all documented. Everything is there. And as you can see, target hit, bang, right? And then bang, you come up here, the long 2 levels back to back, solid wins. Bam, you would have taken 2 wins today. And if you would have taken my S&P trade, that would have been your 3rd win of the day. If you would have taken my gold trade, that would have been your 4th win of the day. You'd have went 4 for 4 in our community. Just saying, man. And then obviously I gave you the long-term outlook, or the outlook that I am seeing on Bitcoin in this video, right? Saying, hey, scalp shorts are on the table here, but your stop losses have to be tight, because the swing failure pattern at the previous high around $95,000 suggests that you could get into a short. But do you really want to? Do you really want to? When you've got this thing so friggin' close, 96.6, I don't know, man. You got to be really, really careful when you're trading at these levels. So in any case, if you were in that community, dude, I promise you went 4 for 4, maybe even 5 for 5 today. Pretty crazy. And we're talking massive moves, 5.5% on gold. You probably got like 2 trades with like 4 to 5 R's, which is risk to reward ratios that John gave out, the boss. And you got a massive trade on the S&P. I'll show you. Massive trade on the S&P, because the S&P is actually what drove Bitcoin up. Okay. So this is the trade right here. This is what you got. You bought the bottom here. I gave this trade out 2 days ago, right here. Bang. I gave this out short, and we gave out this short before that. We said, hey, short here, boom. And then you flip long, boom. And you hit the profit target exactly right to the previous highs. Bang. It's that friggin' simple, man. And all you had to do was be inside of that community, and you printed gains. 5 for 5, 6 for 6, who knows? Like, ridiculous gains, man. So with that being said, if you find value in this type of stuff, bang, bang. do your thing, man. Get inside of the Nordic Alpha private trading room. I promise you, there's probably people in this comment section that can vouch for us. Go in there, see what it's all about. That's all I can do for you, man. I gave you all the levels on Bitcoin that I'm seeing right now. If you want to understand where Bitcoin's going, if you want to understand where the top on Bitcoin's going to be, where these altcoins are going to go, where we could see Bitcoin kind of like fall off and top out, I promise you it's in there. If you want to understand where gold's going to bottom out, I promise you it's in there. If you want to understand where the S&P could be going, we do that every day too. If you want to understand Forex, John, the boss, he does that. Look at this. Okay, so fair value gap lesson, just really quick. This is a 15-minute chart. This is a really good chart to trade fair value gaps on, okay? This is a fair value gap. See, right here and right here. That is a fair value gap. That is saying there's an inefficiency in pricing in the market, right? Guess what happened? You came up, right? And then bang, you came right down, filled the fair value gap, bang. It's that simple. You take your profits near the highs, bang, bang, bang. It's that simple, man. If you have time to trade this type of stuff, like a lot, then you're doing extremely well. Now, is this a regular head and shoulders, right? Dude, it might be. Okay, so let's draw it. I mean, it's a very, very nasty looking one. We'll put it like that. But in any case, we'll try it out. Call it, this is the high. That looks a lot more head and shouldery to me, and that is facing the right way. That is facing the right way, baby. We might be going down from here. You might have just gotten a free trade live on YouTube. You're welcome. Let's see. Let's see where it takes us. Does it take us past where that bear flag is? If you come down here and you break this. Okay, so this is where you would enter. If you broke this level right here, you created a lower low. You break this level right here. You blast through this fair value gap that you've already tapped into. It's nullified now, right? But if you come here, you're looking at, you know, probably $89,500 if you break below 91.5. It's about a $2,000 move down, okay? And then if you look, let's say that 1 hour head and shoulders, or that's a 15-minute head and shoulders. Now, if you look at this, where's our 1 hour bear flag? Oh, that was on gold. All right, my bad. In any case, you might see things moving downwards. That's all I'm saying. So with that being said, I hope to see you all in the Nordic Alpha private VIP trading room. We just opened it up literally 2 days ago. We've been taking gains. We've done 6, 7, 8Xs on this channel in 2025. There's a lot of people that have benefited from it, and those are the people that jumped into that trading community immediately because they know you already know what time it is, right? And our Richard Fort, all you got to do, man, rewind the track, baby. Rewind the track. That's the good thing about YouTube, man. You can always just pull it right back up. So with that being said, like I said, guys, seriously, and gals, we do not discriminate on this channel. We love our crypto kings and queens and non-binary people alike. Make sure you get into the community. Seriously, we're in there printing gains. If you like money, you probably like Nordic Alpha. I will see you all soon. Peace.